Good morning. Good morning. How's everybody doing out there? Happy New Year. So excited to get this morning started today. Good morning, Bill. Good morning, all of you guys. I had this whole speech prepared for yesterday, and then I'm not sure if Dan mentioned I was on the mic yesterday, and then I had this disaster, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But I'm really excited to be trading today with you guys. Today is going to be a phenomenal trading day. I am looking for continuation. Let's see how today shapes up. I'm going to give everybody a minute or so to join in, and then we'll get this party going. Give me 1 second. I just want to make sure YouTube's doing just okay. Good morning, Jay. Good morning, Fabrice. Good morning, guys. Just making sure YouTube's doing okay. All right. Okay. Everyone's doing good. I have a couple of tickers that I want to look at today. If you guys see any good gaps or if you guys have any tickers that you want to go over, let me know and we'll go over it also along with my tickers. Good morning, Joe. Good morning, Albert. Cool deal. All right. So we had a pretty fun day yesterday. And I kind of sort of missed out on all the action yesterday. I insisted on hanging a poster on in my kids' rooms, and despite them not understanding what a poster is, I'm like, no, you have to have a poster in your room. You're old enough. This is a time. And so I got on top of their bunk bed, and then I fell from there. So I dislocated 2 toes in the process. I'm gonna have to have surgery tomorrow. Yay to that. But hey, way to bring in the New Year's, right? If there's one person that would do it, it's me. I do qualify for activities like that. So I did miss out on so many fun trades yesterday. But I'm still looking forward to fun trades today. Let's see how that goes. Good morning, Attorney Dan. How are you? Good morning, Joe. All right, let's get this party going. So I have a couple of tickers that I want to look at. Really, and I mean this in a day trading way and also swing trading. I think these are excellent setups in both directions. So PayPal being number one on my list. Dan says, please check your. Absolutely, Dan. I'm sorry. I have not. I never look at Twitter messages, but I will definitely take a look. Definitely. It's good to see you back, Dan. How are you? All right, so let's go check this out. PayPal, big doji. This is very similar to Home Depot. I think Yates mentioned Home Depot yesterday in Slack, but it's a lot of tickers have this similar setup. And I really, really, really enjoy dojis breaking down with a trend line break. I think this would make for an excellent trade. So if you want to set up a trade, where we're doing something like this, or like a 1.2, I could see why. I mean, I could absolutely see this work out really, really well. So I like how this is shaping up for a swing trade, day trading also. I mean, it's I know Dan and team are in a different trade on PayPal, but I'm sure you can play this with puts if the need be. So definitely keep an eye out for this guy. I'm going to set some alerts on this level and see if we take it out at open, and then definitely looking for bearish continuation. Today, I feel like although we've dipped quite a bit on the cues we've had the last 3 days of red candles, I still feel like we could have continuation today. So I am looking for bear trades today. I, under the very odd circumstances where things might shift to the bullish direction, we will play it. But if I had to keep an eye out, I would keep an eye out for bearish plays only. So I'm looking for continuation to the downside. Maybe down to like 395, 394 level, and then see if we can get some sort of a bounce. So That's what my plan is on the cues. And I think it's very doable. It's really not that far. So definitely doable. I like where we're going. Earlier, we weren't really gapping below. So right now we're gapping below. I like where this is going. It's looking good. We have the Jolts number at 10. Yes, I do know. Yes, I am aware of that. So we're not going to do any aggressive trades. I think we'll just kind of sort of back off for a little bit, see if anything quickly plays out on the 1 minute chart, and then maybe sort of see what happens at 10 o'clock. Win says, I think we're all out of PayPal trade. Okay, cool. All right. Cool deal. So there's PayPal. There's also Spotify, which happens to be my favorite. You guys, I mean, this is one pattern you just got to go roll with. Okay. I really, really, really like this 10 EMA setup. So if we take this out, maybe today, maybe tomorrow, keep an alert out there. I wouldn't give it more than 3 or 4 days. So I wouldn't give it more than this week. But if we take it out, within this week, then I really like this in the bearish direction. I'm not really, and in the bullish direction, it'd be a bull flag. We filled this gap completely. Well, yeah, we filled this gap and now we're looking to go higher. So it could be a bullish bull flag or it could be a bearish 10 EMA. Either way, I think this would be a fun play. So keep an eye out for Spotify. Here's another one that I found. That I really, really, really like. So this might be another fun ticker to play in the bearish direction. I really like this volume. I like this volume. I like all of these bulls here. I think this is going to be an excellent player to the downside if we get filled. So just, easiest way to do this is set up alerts and come back to it when those alerts go off. I think that's the easiest way to play this. Sophie has a gap down. I think it got downgraded today. I am not sure. I'm actually unsure of how to play this. When something gaps down this big, I know it doesn't seem like a big gap, but it is a big gap. When something gaps down like this, it's kind of hard to tell. Do we go higher at open or do we continue to the downside? So I'm going to give it a little bit of time at open and see which way it wants to go. If it wants to go higher, I think I would want to short it a little bit higher. Wouldn't want to go long on this. And if it wants to continue down, then maybe look for longs around this level, around 850, just around this support level. So yeah, depends on which way it wants to go, right at open. And that's about it. Apple also has a beautiful, beautiful candle, right? This is a perfect doji. I would have liked it if this was a green doji, but we'll take it. Even a red doji works just fine, right? This looks great. If I had to guess and say, well, if I had to think about this and really make an educated guess, I would think that maybe we do something like this and roll over again. But it's looking mighty bearish right now, right? So I'm looking to play it in the bearish direction. I think if Apple dips, everything else dips. So for today, I think bearish plays are still very, very valid. I think it'll work out just fine. So let's see how that goes. Couple of other tickers, PLTR and DraftKings. So DKNG. Can you guys hear me okay? Type in a one if you guys can hear me okay. All right, cool. All right, awesome. DraftKings with a gap down. It's just regular gap down, but it is quite bearish. So I like this gap down a lot. We'll have to keep an eye out on this. Maybe we get bought up at open and then look for a rollover. Yeah, but definitely like this gap down. Let's see if there's any moving averages. I have not looked at any long-term moving averages. Yeah, that's why we're gapping down. Okay, cool. So we've got room to go on this. DraftKings and Palantir. Those were the other two that I was looking at. I didn't love them enough to put them on the list to be watching for the rest of the day, but I kind of sort of will keep an eye out on this. If you guys see a trade, definitely just point me to it and we'll take a look at it. If any 10 EMA set up. So here's a good example of that doji candle. You see, this is what I'm hoping will happen on some of these other tickers. We just kind of sort of continue down. So I really like trend line breaks with dojis. So that's what I'm hoping for. All right. Aside from these guys, we have obviously our darlings, Tesla, Nvidia, Meta also looks pretty phenomenal. Let's look at Tesla real quick on the daily. Just making sure. All right. So I still feel like, I mean, as much of, of a bear case I'm putting out there for today in the broader markets, I still feel like Tessie could continue higher. We'll have to watch it for the next couple of days and see if it holds these levels. If it doesn't hold these levels, I think it's going to be disastrous. And we could fall down quite a bit. But if I had to guess, really, I mean, I have long-term shares. I do have positions on Tesla. And, as far as the charts saying stuff to me, it's still looking mighty bullish. I don't think there's anything that I'd be super worried about. As far as day trade's concerned today, let's see if we can come down to the 100 and then see if we can take off from there. If we can find some support. That will also be the trend line here that we broke out of. So maybe we just continue on higher today. Sky says, how do you rate the Delta Airlines gap? Let's see. TAL. 12 on 10. It's looking pretty good. I like this gap a lot. Head and shoulders with a doji. I really like this gap down. So Sky, if I were you, short, right at open on the 1 minute chart. That's how I would play this. I really, really, really like this gap. I don't trade Delta Airlines enough, and I know it doesn't. I mean, it doesn't have a very big range. Johnny's a big Delta Airlines trader, but we could definitely trade this today. Let's see, entry here and 1R. That's it. That's all I'd be looking for on this. I'll add it to the list. I like it enough to be added to the list, so let's add that. I really, really, really like this gap down. So we'll keep an eye out for this guy. Yeah, just 1 minute, right it open. And then we'll see where it goes. Somebody else said, who's the author of that inside bar indicator? Let's see. I am not sure how to tell you who the author is or how to find who the author is. Let's see, maybe if I just looked it up here real quick. Here, CMA. That's where it's from. Yeah, perfect. Boeing. Yep. Boeing is also on the list. I was looking at Boeing last night and it had a pretty horrendous day along with AMD. I mean, but it's, it deserves a pullback, right? Like if you look at it on the weekly chart, it's just gone up straight up. And it's still not very damaging to the bulls, if you ask me. So nobody in their right mind that bought here is going to go, oh my God, I'm trapped and I feel like I need to get out. Right. So I still feel like Boeing's got room to go higher. As far as a day trade's concerned, it's a retest gap. So maybe look for buyers to step in a little bit and then look for continuation to the downside. But yeah, to the downside, it's got room, on the weekly chart, it's got room all the way to 238, which is a pretty big range, right? 10 points. So let's see if we can catch this guy too. Lots of fun tickers today, guys. So at open on the cues, what my plan is, and SPY, what my plan is, I think here's how we're going to do. Here's what we're going to do. And I think this is pretty much everywhere else's story too. This is how everybody else is going to react to. At open, we'll get some sort of buying coming in a little bit and then a rollover. So unless the 10 o'clock number changes a few things, then that might change our charts a little bit. But I feel like if we get some buying coming in and then the 10 o'clock numbers affect the markets, we kind of see that rollover come in. I think that's the best way. I think that's where we'll make the most amount of money today, in that kind of play. So that's what I'm looking for. Let's hope that we get that buying coming in. All right, let's go look at snow. I know Coin and Mara are also having a pretty nasty day, so let's go look at those two also. Um, Snow pre-test gap, yeah, pretty big bear candle, low volume, but pretty big damaging bear candle, right? Double top, divergence, not that big of a divergence, but definitely divergence. Uh, I would keep an eye out for this guy. So I like this for a day trade, just like everything else. I like this for a day trade, but honestly, I like this for a swing trade a lot more. So I would set an alert at like 193-ish. No, not copy. Um, Pressing up and see if we can come back up, touch this line, and then roll over for a swing trade. For a day trade today, I feel like snow eventually is going to, are there any unfilled? There's this unfilled gap. Eventually it's going to come down and fill this gap. Let's see if there's any point of controls that it can come down to. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. It's got range to go down to 175. So yeah, snow definitely a good deal. I like this gap down. I think let's look for some buyers to step in and then look for a rollover, right? That's the way I would want to play it. I wouldn't want to play it any other way. Let's see what else. Let's go look at coin real quick, and then we'll just go down the list. So Bitcoin is having a little bit of a sell-off right now, and so I think that's why Coin and Mara are also struggling with this. But I mean, let's go look at Bitcoin real quick. You know, if this thing, I think, and I would hope that it would hold the 4,000 level, and if it does, it can easily bounce off of here, and Coin could easily just take right off. Right. So this chart isn't really broken on Bitcoin yet. It had a pretty big candle yesterday, but it's not really devastating, or it's not like it's gapping down below here. So it's okay. So I think coin too, it's just overreaction, but it's a retest gap. I think we get bought up a little bit and then look for rollovers. Either way we go, whether we get bought up today, right at open, or we get sold off today, right at open, I think noon reversals or 10 o'clock reversals are going to be a fun play today. So we're going to have lots of trades to take today. I think it's going to be a fun day trading day. And we'll see a couple of setups happen. So keep an eye out for coin. So, you know, for YouTube land that's not trading along with us, here's what I would do. I would see if we get bought up right at open, and then look for reversals around this range, just rejections right around this range. Or if right at open we get sold off, then there's only so much you can get sold off, then look for reversals around this range. That's the only way I would play it. So there's coin. Let's look at Mara real quick. I think Mara had a bigger damaging gap than coin. Not really, no. Actually, let's go check out coin if there was any moving averages, larger moving averages that I have not looked at. Let's just leave it on. No, we're pretty far away from that. On the weekly, yeah, we've got room to go on coin, and I'm assuming Mara too. Yeah, but look at this consolidation, you guys, on Mara. Remember, we talked about this on Tesla too. Just massive consolidation. This thing could take off in a heartbeat. So don't be afraid to start your pyramid down here. I don't really have any holdings in this, but it's just consolidating a lot. So don't be shy to start adding. Mara, definitely a devastating gap. Well, it's not really like a gap that I would just worry about, right? I mean, this is a lot of bulls trapped, sure, but all of those bulls by yesterday would have gotten out or should have gotten out. Today, we might see some continuation of bulls getting out, and then we probably just get bought up again. Weekly chart, yeah, we're just retesting this inverse head and shoulders. So if I might just add some at 1850 on Mara and then see where we go from there. All right, let's check out ADP. This is also consolidating quite a bit. Whoa, what happened here? Why are we gapping down? Does anybody know? I'm sorry, guys. I have not looked at this ticker in a while, so I don't know what the news is here. If somebody could update me on that, that would be great. If this is a news related candle, if not, it's a beautiful gap and go short right at open. I think this needs to go on the list also. This is one of those tickers, ADP and Delta Airlines, that we need to short right at open. We can't get caught just sleeping on this. I think we're gonna miss out on a fantastic trade. But I would have loved it if it was a lot of bulls. It's not a lot of bulls, but it is quite a bit, right? It's a lot of indecision. We were at resistance. We failed that quite clearly. It's shaping into a head and shoulders. I think we could continue down to 228 easily. So something like this, I could easily see happen. Or a day trade today. And our stop doesn't even have to go that high. We could probably push our stop down a little bit. But yeah, I like this gap down a lot, a lot. So definitely keeping an eye out for this guy also. All right. You guys are throwing out all the good tickers today. But today is just a beautiful, phenomenal day trading day. I think it's going to be a fun day today. ADP is only 400 shares. All right. Let's go check out NVIDIA real quick. So this is it's been weaker than the broader markets. When I was looking at the Qs earlier, the Qs were somewhere in the mid-range. We weren't gapping down all the way, and NVIDIA was gapping down all the way. So I do think this is slightly weaker than the broader markets. I think it's SFX or SHX, whichever one it is. No, the semi and there's that index that I'm looking for, SFX, or I forgot which one it is, but that also has the double bottom. I mean, double top. SOXL. No, I don't think it's that one. I found it on Finviz the other day. No, it's the S&P 500 semiconductor index. I'll think of it and then I'll let you guys know, but I'm sure this has a double top also. Not really, no. But anyways, NVIDIA looking pretty darn bearish, if you ask me. I think it'll be a fun day trade today if we do get that chance to trade it bearish. Retest gap, not a very big gap. Let's see how we open today. And if we open and start climbing into yesterday's candle, then I think this is the area that I would be watching out for, the body, 481. Let's see what happens over there and see if we can get some sort of a rollover from there. If not, then I think just a continuation down to the downside is definitely valid. SPRX, let's see. Yeah, if you give me a minute. No, I lost it. It was on Finviz. I'll think of it and then I'll let you guys know. All right. So there's NVIDIA. AMD is also another beautiful, beautiful area. So this is a devastating gap for AMD. right now. If we start going a little bit lower than here, so here's the idea, right? Like everybody and their mom thinks we're just gonna kind of sort of, this is the last hope to double bottom and continue higher. Now, what happens if we start closing below here? Well, then all of these people are gonna kind of sort of worry and get out, or at least move stops, right? So today might be a fun day to play AMD rather than NVIDIA. Let's move AMD up the list a little bit and see if we can get a bear play. It is a retest gap, so let's wait for some buyers to step in and then see if we can get that rollover. But definitely looking kind of sort of weak. I think in the longer term, 131, well, even today for a day trade, I think 131.50 should be a good target range. So let's see if we can get there today. Trying to find my ticker. If you just Google, well, if you just screen double tops on Finviz, you'll see that ticker. I forgot what it's called. All right, let's look at Amazon real quick, and then if there are any other tickers that we need to look at. Ethereum says YouTube land. Let's look at Ethereum also. Amazon, not as interesting as any of the other tickers. I think I like some of the other tickers that we looked at a little bit more. This guy is, maybe we, if things get going today to the bullish side, we might get a green candle today. And then I'd be more interested in shorting this. I'd be more interested in doing the 10 EMA here than day trading it today. I think I'll leave Amazon alone today. I'm not going to worry about it too much. Tesla also, like we said, we're going to look for a drop and then a bounce off of these trend lines and the moving averages. Where is the 100 again? 240. So let's see what happens around 240 and then see if we can take off. If we start breaking those ranges, then I think we're going to have some trouble in paradise on Tesla. Turn this off real quick. All right, let's go check out Ethereum. Just like Bitcoin, I think Ethereum also is this the right? Yeah, this is the right one. Yeah, just like Bitcoin. So this is exactly what I was talking about on Bitcoin also. I mean, we could bounce. It's not like we've let go of these levels. Ethereum's bouncing just where it needs to. So I feel this could continue on higher and go right at it. So unless we close like this today and then we start going lower, I feel like this can stay and continue higher. So I mean, if you have positions, don't be afraid to hold. I would hold. I wouldn't, this chart isn't really particularly scary just yet, which is why I'm kind of skeptical about coin also. I mean, I like the short, but things could shift any second. So just be cautious. Just be careful. It's a pretty big dip on coin. We needed the dip and we got the dip. I would really, really, really buy a whole bunch of coin if we pulled back to 120. I think that's where the big money should step in also and push this thing higher. So if this thing does push back, I think this is a buying zone rather than a panic selling zone. In my opinion, that's how I would play it. All right, YouTube land, it is time for me to say goodbye. I hope 2024 turns out to be an amazing, amazing, amazing trading year for you guys. I will see you guys next Tuesday.